If you have a really good sex life and a strong libido, you're more likely to succeed in business. You're more likely to get a raise. You're more likely to make higher commissions, higher fees. You're more likely to be invited to join startups that could make you rich. You're more likely to be sought after, even if you're in a profession that is a problem solving profession like a lawyer or a doctor or a accountant, you'll get much higher fees, much higher profile clients and patients and customers. And it's all tied into libido. And yet, what men do today is they waste their libido by spilling their seed and dissipating their sexual energies. Now, I know because, of course, I used to do that myself. I would do it every day. And then when high speed adult material came along, I would do it for hours every night while my wife was sleeping in the bedroom next to my office, my home office. And I was dissipating my seed for years and I had a disorganized life. I was successful, but I wasn't incredibly successful. I was always finding things that were stumbling blocks. And then in a physical sense, my workouts weren't that great. I had a trainer and it was just so hard when he came over to get moving and to be doing the things that he wanted me to do. It was just a drag. I was dragging myself through life. And then over a number of years, since I am a health and sex researcher, I began applying some of the principles that I have learned and been reading about for years. I have a huge library of sex material written by everybody from Masters and Johnson to the Tantric, Ayurvedic, Taoist traditions, popularizers, little known authors, huge library of this stuff that I have read and absorbed. And since I have 80,000 men I've coached over the years, I've been able to apply a lot of things and run little tests with people that I call Matt's guinea pigs. And at some point, I stumbled on a small group of men and women who are really moving this forward in terms of having a tremendous amount of sex, abundant sex. And they weren't coming as often as most people do. They certainly weren't coming as often as I was, which is at least once a day. And over time, I've realized that there's value, that it's an essential thing for men to have a strong, healthy libido, not to spill my seed. What I ended up finding is this was a real surprise is when I was with my friends, everybody was always complaining about not getting any. And I was one of those people like everybody. You live in a life of lack, not having enough this, not having enough that. You live in a life of lack as a man, not having enough. But when I started this route, I began having an experience with my wife, an intimate experience every day, and then twice a day. And here it is, almost 40 years later, and we can't keep our hands off each other. And it's not because of anything special that I am. It's because I'm simply not spilling my seed every day. Just that simple. I have also determined that you can increase your libido, increase your drive. And as I've done that, I have found that a lot of wealth and success has gravitated to me. So I can run 3 companies, have a whole group of people that work with me that are just fantastic. They're way smarter and better than I am. And I make it happen because of my strong, it's just that simple. Now, you may be some man who is starting out. You may not have succeeded at anything. You may be somebody that takes hits all day and goes around in a haze. That was me for several years. It was exactly that man, that young man. That's okay. You could just start right now. Here's my suggestion. Just go a day without spilling your seed. Just do a day. That's all. And once you go a day, you can go 2 days, you can go 3 days. How often should a man do that? See, I think that you should end up doing it as little as possible until you find the woman of your dreams, your partner of your dreams. At that point, then you'll be very assertive, you'll be very attractive to women, you're very likely to land an amazing woman, and you can do it several times a day, just as I do. And what I do is I go for 30 minutes or 40 minutes each time, sometimes longer, and I don't always finish at the end. It's just that simple. I don't usually finish, and it goes on, and it's just like one amazing episode of pleasure, and then the next, it's just this unvarying, just completely constant. And it's like when we're not together intimately, we're teasing each other and playing with each other. And it's just endless sex, really. It's amazing. And that has allowed me to have huge material success. Now, I can just tell you, I had a guy, if I can find his testimony here, I had a guy, for example, who was, I put it in my book. I just wrote a book, Masculine Maximizer. Yeah, so you can, I think he went from 40,000 a year to 300,000 a year. And I've seen so many times that's happened. So often that's happened. And just really because he stopped spilling a seed every day, just that simple. Now, as a man, this is what you need to do if you want to succeed, if you want to be attractive to women, if you want to get abundance, if you want to get material things and wealth. It's just that simple. Everything else tends to fall into place when you have a high libido, you're not spilling your seed. If this is interesting content for you, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon so you'll get notified when I do videos. I'm going to be doing more live streams coming up. And I'm going to share some of the results of my experiments. Also, I want you to get a review copy of my book for a very limited time. Go to dailymedicaldiscoveries.com. That's dailymedicaldiscoveries.com. And then simply join my list. Then I'll send you a full copy of my book so that you can start Masculine Maximizer. You can become a Masculine Maximizer.